Hello and welcome back, everyone. Scootsy16 here with the Windy City Thunderbolts and the Super Mega Legend League. We are back after a rough episode. We watched the Windy City Thunderbolts take off at the beginning of this series, or at the beginning of this season, and slowly start to fade into mediocrity. We also witnessed a game against the Tokyo Thrillers, a team that is doing really well this year. And it did not go our way as we ended up losing that game 4-3. So it did an unfortunate season once again for the Thunderbolts, but we're hoping to turn things around, or we might have to go into reset mode. Now, after asking you all to respond in the comments on any team that you want to witness a game against, I saw there was a mention. Shout out to the nasty one, Prack Nasty, for giving a recommendation. He asked for the Miami Moonstars, which I just looked through our schedule, and we do not play them once the rest of the season. So we won't get a chance to see the Moonstars, but he also mentioned just playing against the division leader. So I looked at the standings and the teams that stuck out: the Platypi, the Beewolves, the Waikiki Wideloads, and the Soul Spirit. So I went ahead and checked through the calendar or the schedule, and what popped out to me was right around game 81, the halfway mark of the season. We are playing the Boulder Beewolves, and we are at their park. So I'm going to aim to play a game in that series around the halfway mark of the season. However, as we approach that series, if we find that their team is not doing well, or depending on how terrible we are doing, I might opt to go a little bit further. There is also a two-game series against the Soul Spirit that we have in the 93rd and 94th games, so we might look to see us play them as well. So let's go ahead and start moving forward. Last time we left off, we were looking at some development options, and the main ones that stuck out, we have an option for Kathy Cul-de-sac here. We have one for Ron Santo we're not interested in. This one for Jensen Deputy is interesting. One for Leandro, but I don't know if we're going to do it. And then this one for Frank Viola. Frank is actually doing really well this year. I was looking at the league leaders, and he is topping out in some of those statistics across the pitching, along with Lachlan McMackey. So would like to see him develop a little bit more. He's only 25. The problem is this one still needs 8 games, and it's about to expire. So I think the next one we look at is this one in 3 games for Jensen Deputy. Would like to see his skills improve just a little bit more, and would be nice to have him add a fork bowl to his arsenal. So let's go ahead and just sim those 3 games forward, the Thrillers and the Grapplers, and we'll see where we're at after those 3 games. 26 wins right now, and we went 2-1 in those 3 games, so that's always nice to see. And in the meantime, we see that Cash Basket gains 3 fielding. We see that Willie Randolph gets 3 more contact, and he actually moves up to an A-. We see Harold Williams getting a little bit faster, a chance for Pepe to increase his contact and gain sprinter. So that's nice to see. I am still going to commit to this one for Jensen Deputy. So we're going to go ahead and buy this one and see if we can get at least the 2 accuracy, but hopefully even more than that. Gaining 5 would be nice. No, we don't. Let's see if we can gain an extra pitch, though. And we don't do that either. So he gets a loyalty boost, which he needed. And now we are looking at Pepe Vinicius, which would be in 10 games. So let's go ahead and take a look at moving forward in this series to see what we can do against to get that going for Pepe. So I'm going to go ahead and sim these 2 series against the Sirloins and the Beewolves. And after 6 games, we'll see what we're doing. It's 28 and 26. And now we just jumped up to the top of the division here, as we had a really good outing there, 4-2 in those games. So it looks like we won 2 out of 3 against the Sirloins, and we won 2 out of 3 against the Thunderbolts. Chance for Hera to develop, but chance to lose off-speed hitter as well. And then Pepe loses 3 arm okay as a second baseman, but not that great to see him as a young guy in the team looking to develop to see his skills decrease. I'm not interested in this one for Hera. I love the fielding and the arm, but I am not interested in the chance to lose off speed hitter. That's very valuable for her. And I'm still focusing on this one for Pepe. So four more games before that one's available. We'll go ahead and move forward to that time period. So we play against the Mammo Tanks and then the Herbisaurs. Four games after. And we went 1-3, so we're just teetering back and forth here, which is super funny to see, but very frustrating to witness as well. Ryder McBride is losing 4 accuracy. We see a gain of 4 fielding for Queen Jimenez, which is nice, but we'd love that 4 to be going to one of her pitching statistics or attributes, excuse me. All right, time to get this boost for Pepe. We'll get a little boost in contact, and we'll see if we can do anything with that sprinter trait here. So +3, do not get any more than that. And then can we get sprinter? We do not. So little loyalty boost for him as well. He's back to maxed out. And nice to see his contact going up just a little bit. All right, moving forward. We don't have anything right now that I'm interested in buying, so we're just going to sim ahead to the 70 after 70 games. So 6 games that we're simming through here, and we went 3-3. So this division of ours is getting really, really tight and really jumbled, and we might have a tough time going forward if it stays this tight. So Willie Randolph just lost 5 fielding, so he went back down to a B+. Ryder McBride has a chance to gain a new pitch. I think he's too old for that. Lachlan, we're not touching his rally stopper trait. Chance for Ron Santo to gain RBI hero and contact. That would be nice. Vinny Tannen, he's now secondary position of infield and outfield. That's pretty awesome. And I don't think we have anything in the development that we're interested in getting. Interesting this one for Kathy, but I think I'm going to pass. I don't think it's worth to buy this one for Ryder McBride with him being 31 years old. No for Hera. I just don't want to spend this money on Ron Santo with how tight our budget is and with the fact that he's already 32. I apologize, Ron. It would be broken to give him RBI hero. Oh, that would be so, so nice to see. I don't think we'll have the opportunity, and I don't think it's worth it. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. All right, we're going to move forward 10 games, and that's going to bring us to the Boulder Bee Wolves, and we'll see where they're at, and then we'll determine if we want to watch one of those games before we get into anything. So let's go ahead and see after 10 games, 36-34, we're now 40-40. So we went 4-6 during that time period. We're 2.5 games back, and we have a +8 run differential. So we are not doing much to make progress, but luckily the rest of our division is kind of middling as well. So there's an opportunity for development for Cash Basket. On the defensive side of things, there's a chance for Withers Hansen to lose Rally Stopper. Not interested. He does gain 3 fielding, which is nice. And we have a chance for Ken Owens to get Elite Slider. This is the development we've been working towards, folks. This is what we want to see. So it's this one for Cash, which would give her speed, fielding, and arm. I'd rather it be her offensive traits that improve. We'll think about it. Ken Owens here gets that junk, loses some velocity, and a chance to gain the elite slider. This would be nice for him, but unfortunately it's only a tier 1 elite slider. I think I am going to go for it. This is what we need him to do, is develop. So I think we go ahead. Now I'm just wondering. I'm going to do this one for Cash. We'll see her develop a little more, and then we'll still have time to get this one for Ken Owens. So we'll do this one for Cash Basket. 1 speed, 1 fielding, 1 arm. And no extra speed. And no extra fielding. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. She's getting a little bit better, just a little bit at a time. And now we need... Oh, we actually can afford... I didn't even look at how much we had. So forgive me there. Let's go ahead and do this one for Ken Owens as well. So +3 junk. We lose 2 velocity. We don't get the boost in junk, but can we get that elite slider trait? Nope. All right. He's all about his junk. That's all he's worried about. He's still a C plus. And actually, I'm just curious to see what he's been doing. 5.47 ERA this year, 1-6 record, 1.70 WHIP. He's not having a great season. He's still on the candidate. He's still a candidate to be on the chopping block, unfortunately. But really frustrating to see him still failing to succeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and see where the B Wolves are. And just as I had potentially suspected, they dropped significantly. They're now 10 games back of the Boise Buzzards in the Mountain Division. Wow, that's crazy. Let's go ahead. Let's see what else we have coming up. The Shanghai Sandcats, the Bombers, the Heaters, and then the Hot Corners, and then the Spirit. So, sorry, I'm popping back and forth here. The Bombers are not doing very well. The Heaters are doing pretty well. What was the other team we saw? The Sandcats are doing terribly. So I think we go to the Soul Spirit. So we're going to go ahead and move forward once again. This time heading through the next 10 games to get us over to that Soul Spirit game. 40 and 40 after 10 more games. We are now 47 and 43. So a big 10-game stretch for the Thunderbolts there. Love to see it. Taking a look, we get a chance for Mashed Taters to gain fastball hitter. That's huge. Chance for choker for Rylan Frank. Not interested. Ron Santo with volatile. I'm going to pass. And that's it. So I think we focus on this one for Mashed Taters, but it's going to take us 11 games. We should be okay, even though it has a chance to expire after 8. But that's a really big opportunity for him. Alrighty, so we are cruising right along, and I'm going to skip us ahead to this game. Actually, let's go down to this one and watch Frank Viola play. We'll see what he has to offer and see what he's doing. So we move forward a few games. We're now 49 and 44, 1 game behind the Green Bay Grapplers, who just seem to grapple the division lead and not let go. But we're going to see Frank Viola face off against Turf Leathers. And let's go ahead and jump right into that game right now. Oh, by the way, Kendra Kerr just got 6 more junk. She's now an A. That's nice to see. All right, we're going to jump into this one. Oh my God, Vinny Tannen. I don't know what happened to him, but he got wrecked. And he is not going to be able to play in this game, unfortunately. They're going to keep him out there. Jeez. All right, so we have Willie Randolph at second base. He's tense. Cash Basket in left. We have Ron Santo at third. David Ortiz is DHing. We're going to move him up to the 3rd spot in the order. I want Leandro Blacksmith in the 2 spot. Cash Basket's going to go down. We're going to see David Ortiz, then Mashed Taters, then Ron Santo. Kathy Cul-de-sac having herself on fire right now, so she's doing really well. I'm going to put Hera behind the plate because I'd rather have her out there than Haley, even with the contact trait. And then, geez, do we have a backup shortstop? Hello, error in my structuring of this team. We do not have a backup shortstop at all. Oh, Vinny. That's probably why he's hurt. Just exhausted. Well, we'll have to figure that out next time. You all get to witness a severely injured Vinny Tannen toughing it out for this team. Wait, I'm going to do this. I'm going to look at what we have available. I cannot believe we don't have a backup shortstop. What do we do here? I'm going to look at getting one of these 2 out of here. They're both crafty, so let's take a look at shortstops and see if we have any crafty shortstops. We have Alan Trammell. We have Waylon Klopp. He's not good. Frederick Rogers, not bad, but not very good contact. And then we have Fowler Rounds. He's got Slowpoke, but he's a good defender. I think Fowler Rounds is the guy we're going to reach to here. And he's going to fill into the spot of... Let's just drop Raylan Frank for right now, and we'll come back to him later in the season here. He's already not happy with us, and it'll only be a plus 0.4 million to add him on. So we're going to keep Haley Barnstormer. We're going to drop Raylan Frank, and we're going to bring in Fowler Rounds, and he's going to be our emergency shortstop for this game. Just absolutely crazy that that's happening. All right, everything else remains the same. Fowler Rounds is going to come in and play shortstop for us. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to our... We are away. Let's do our regular away jerseys. And let's play ball. Hopefully this is a bit of a quick matchup. We'll see how we face off against a very great Soul Spirit who are leading their division, and hope that everything goes according to plan. We want to be able to compete against these teams if we want any chance of going into the playoffs and then being able to succeed once we're there. Willie Randolph doing what he did last season, which is getting on base at a decent clip. He's batting 283, no power to be seen here, but that's okay. That's not what he's here for. And he pulls that one, and it drops right past the shortstop into left field, and that's a base hit to lead off the game. And he just got another mojo boost, so I believe he is now on fire. One of 3 players to be on fire, or maybe he was tense. I'm not sure what I missed there, but the ball gets away from the catcher, and easily reaching second base is Willie Randolph with Leandro Blacksmith on locked in at the plate right now. 1-2 count here from Turf Leathers. And Leandro hits that ball hard to right center field, and it's going to split the gap. Hammer Longbalo gets to it, but not nearly in time. And Leandro with a RBI double to get the offense going for the Thunderbolts. This is what we like to see, and it looks like he's on fire now, too, to couple that with David Ortiz. And Turf Leathers has himself a bit of a situation already on his hands. He's got an elite cut fastball to go with 2 other fastball pitches and 2 off-speed pitches. He gets a grounder to second base, but Leandro Blacksmith was able to advance to second on that ball, and we have 1 out. And Mashed Taters grounds to short. Cabrera over to Trunk. Gets out number 2, but another run scores. That's an RBI ground out for Mashed Taters for the 2-0 lead here in the top of the first inning for the Thunderbolts. So a really great start for them. Turf Leathers struggling already. He's still at neutral mojo, but he can't be happy with these results. And Ron Santo hits it hard, but right at Hammer Longbalo in right field. And 2 runs on 2 hits for the Thunderbolts. And now the Spirit have a chance to counter that. Now, one very interesting part of Frank Viola's game is that he has maxed out reverse splits. He is a lefty, and that means all righties are going to have a maximum debuff, and you'll see that against Joe Trunk here. And every other righty that's in this lineup is going to have a really tough time facing off against him. So this is what I was excited to see. I'm glad we found him kind of a diamond in the rough. During the off season, and he's been pitching really well. We're hoping that continues. We'll see if we can get a glimpse of his ERA. Currently 3.48, so not too bad. And after a good battle from Joe Trunk, he grounds out to second base for the out. And here comes Elvis Stanley. He's locked in. Again, has his power and contact dropping. And there's strike 1. And a line out to third base for out number 2. And Stanley goes down. And here comes Guy Ramirez, their catcher. Normally pretty good, but in this case, God bless you. He is again getting that debuff. So 3 righties to lead off this game for the Spirit. And he gets that ball right up the middle for a base hit. There's our fill-in shortstop. Fowler Rounds Kind of a lucky find, I think, to have him come in at least as a defensive replacement while Vinny Tannen recovers. I can't believe we didn't have but none of you told me that we didn't have a backup shortstop. This is on you guys, not on me. Ron Santo, the dive wizard, makes the play. Incredible from him, and while they got a base hit, that was all they were able to get, and we head to the top of the second inning. Kathy Caldesac, who's on fire, comes up against Turf Leathers. Swings through strike 2. And pops that one up gently behind the plate. And Guy Ramirez is there to catch it for out number 1. And here comes Cash Basket. Maxed out power and contact versus lefties here. And Turf Leathers not having a great season. 5.35 ERA to date. A 134 whip and 91 Ks. So not terrible, but definitely not what they were hoping to get out of him. He does have very similar attributes to Frank Viola. And he gets a strikeout against Cash Basket there, unfortunately. And a quick inning so far, but Harrow Williams comes in, hoping to get things going for the Thunderbolts here in the second inning. The last thing you want is the pitcher to get into a groove, and she grounds out to first. Trunk steps on first to get the out, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. And Leathers is able to recover quickly after that really tough first. Angel Johnston comes up. The center fielder is DHing today. He's already tense, and he's got power versus lefties, which helps to offset the reverse splits, but that contact is in the garbage. Just absolutely terrible. And so he's going to have a tough time on his hands here. But if he gets a hold of one, it could go a long way with that power max boosted. And he swings through that for strike 3, and Frank Viola gets the first out of the inning. Left fielder Stetson Moyer coming in, another righty. So all of these pitchers so far have either been, all of these batters have been right-handed. Now they could be switch hitters, but they're batting from the right side since he's a lefty. So he actually reverse splits, helps them play into his trait, which is really nice. Gets the ground out to second and 2 outs. Here comes Orlando Cabrera. Orlando has maxed out contact versus lefties, so that's going to help him out. But his power is in the tubes for this at bat. He does get a hold of that one over the shortstop, and it gets past Cash Basket in left field, and that's going to be a double with 2 outs for Orlando Cabrera. Here's Maya De La Rosa, the 8th hitter in the lineup and the 8th righty in the lineup. And Frank she hits that ball hard, but right at Cash Basket at the edge of the warning track. And even though he allowed a double with 2 outs, it did not cause any harm. Here's our 9-hitter. Fowler Rounds comes in. He does have slow poke. He's not a very good contact hitter. Has some decent pop in the bat, but honestly, we brought him in for the defense, and this was an emergency decision with Vinny Tannen. But he hits that ball hard. Is it going to stay fair? Oh, it bounces off the wall just off the line. Foul. And he's 0-2 here against Turf Leathers. And he hits that ball hard, too, to right field, but right at the warning track is Long Ballo, about a step away from the wall for out number 2. Or out number 1, excuse me. Willie must have been tense before this single to lead off the game, as he's now at neutral mojo. He does have that maxed out contact versus lefties. And with a 1-2 count and 1 out, Turf Leathers trying to get himself into a good spot to try and recover here after that tough first inning, and he does get the strikeout there. So now here comes on fire Leandro Blacksmith, the center fielder we brought in to replace Prince Chavez, having himself a bit of a hot streak right now. 279 he's batting, and 3 home runs, so not much offense to show for as he swings through that. And another quick inning for Turf Leathers, and Frank Viola kind of happy to have his 2-run lead, as we might have this offense kind of shutting down once again. Unfortunately, something we're all too familiar with as Thunderbolts fans. But luckily, we have defense and we have good pitching, and we get it there as the ground out to short for out number 1. I think it was a very good call to have Rounds come in instead of trying to have Vinny Tannen play. I don't know what happened to him. That's just absolutely brutal that he got his health all the way down to 1 bar. Just absolutely crazy. And the leadoff man, Joe Trunk, droops that one into right center field for a base hit with 1 out. And here comes Elvis Stanley, the number 2 hitter. And I believe everyone in this lineup right now is batting from the right side. So Frank Viola is getting that debuff on everyone he faces in this lineup right now. This is probably not what you'd normally expect to see when you're facing against the Soul Spirit, but we're hoping that, as you can see the base hit there, we're hoping that we see him be able to get out of this pretty quick, or him have a good time against the Spirit offense because of those that debuff trait, which is really, really overpowered in these situations. Swings through strike 2 there. Guy Ramirez hoping to make something happen with 1 out and 2 on, and he hits that ball weakly to left field, and it hangs up. Cash Basket gets to get in, and both runners have to stay. So here comes Hammer Longballo. I don't know how I missed this earlier. He's batting from the left side. He has fastball hitter and a lot of power. One of the best hitters in the game. 0-2 already. And he fouls that one off, just barely able to make contact. Off speed outside. Doesn't chase. And he chases that curveball, and Hammer Longballo is pissed. He had runners in scoring position with an opportunity to tie or take the lead, and he fails to come through for the Soul Spirit. And now we flip sides here. We're going through the meat of our order. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up, and David Ortiz, who grounded out to second, is still on fire, so we're hoping that maybe he can keep his momentum going. And that ball hit very hard, but very foul. 1-2 count. And he grounds over to Orlando Cabrera at short. And he's going to see his mojo drop to not locked in instead of on fire. But you also saw Leathers has his mojo boost up to locked in, facing off against Mashed Taters here. Also locked in. So Turf Leathers had himself a really tough first inning, giving up 2 runs. And that ball, Orlando Cabrera dives for it, and he gets it over there as Mashed Taters does not have a lot of speed, and that's out number 2. Very unfortunate to go through those 2 hitters already. Turf Leathers has to be feeling really good that he's gotten himself into a groove after a tough first inning. Ron Sano, 1-1 count here, takes strike 2 on the outside part of the plate and fights that one off, stays alive. And takes strike 3 right at the bottom of the zone. I don't know about that one. The ump has to be, I don't know if they just kind of saw that ball move a little bit, but apparently they say it caught the bottom of the plate, and that's strike 3. So the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Thunderbolts go down in order, and I believe that's 9 unanswered. Wow. Okay, so that was... I didn't even finish my thought before that ball got out. That was Johnston, Angel Johnston, just absolutely lined that one. That was a rope out of here, even over that really high wall in left field. And that was a solo shot to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Even with the debuff, he was able to power through that one, and that's a 2-1 ball game. And this is why the Spirit are so good. They're able to find ways to be successful, and they get a base hit there. And Viola, even with all these debuffs, is still having a tough time with this offense. He's been doing pretty well to get out of those little jams he's found himself in, but he's going to have to be careful, especially with his pitch count starting to get up there. The runner takes off and dead to rights as cannon arm gets activated for Hera. She is such a cheat code behind the plate. That's a tier 2 cannon arm that you see activated, and Viola drops the curveball into the zone for strike 3, and that's 2 outs after giving up the leadoff home run. He gives up a base hit, runner caught stealing second, and then the strikeout, and he's in position to get out of this inning without much damage done. After what looked like it could be a pretty rough inning, he gets out of the jam, and that's 1-2-3 after the leadoff homer. Heading to the top of the 5th, 6, 7, 8 hitters here, starting with Kathy Cul-de-sac. She's 0 for 1, but she is still on fire, so we would love to keep her mojo in that position, but she's going to have to probably get on base at the very least to make that happen. She swings through strike 2, and Leathers is definitely in a groove now. Fights that pitch off. Takes ball 1 high, just at the top of the zone. And that ball dropped as it was coming through, and she swung at it. Grounds over gently to Elvis Stanley at second base for out number 1. Cash Basket had a pretty rough at-bat in her last time up, striking out, but here she is once again with the power and the contact maxed out, trying to get something going here, and she does. That ball gets over Elvis Stanley's head and goes into center field. De La Rosa gets it in, but that is a base hit with 1 out for Cash Basket. And here comes Hera, batting .285 on the year. 21 RBI, so she has been very quiet offensively. Once again, where she's here for her defense and her contact capabilities, which she's been doing, but we're hoping to develop that power over time. And that ball pops up center field. De La Rosa ranges all the way in, calls everyone off, and catches that for out number 2. Runner retreats back to first base, and we reach the bottom of the order. Here's Fowler rounds once again. Just missed at least 2 bases, pulling 1 foul right off the line in his first at-bat, hoping to find some green grass in this one. And Turf Leather's still locked in. And that ball hit hard, right center field. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Cash Basket is already rounding to third, and Fowler decides to stop and at first base, doesn't even try for second. And we have runners on the corners with 2 outs, and Willie Randolph comes up. He's tense again after striking out in his last at-bat, but that contact will still help boost him up to right about 100. 0-2 count now. 2 outs, runners on the corners, and he grounds gently to Cabrera at shortstop, who tosses over to first for out number 3. So another chance for the Thunderbolts to make some noise, and they go down quietly. Vito Feynman, their 9-hitter, saw him come up and I think ground out pretty quickly his first time up, so I didn't even notice he was a lefty as well. So of the 9 hitters in this lineup, he gets a base hit right in front of Cash Basket there in left field. Of the 9 hitters in this lineup, 2 of them are lefties, avoiding that debuff. And we wrap around to the top of the order with a man on first base. We're approaching 60 pitches for Frank Viola. He's starting to get tired. He's right around the half stamina mark. Still trying to fight this one off, and that ball grounds to short, and nice scoop from Mashed Taters. Joe Trunk grounded out to short. Fowler tossed over to Willie Randolph at second base. They tried to turn 2, but wild throw from Willie Randolph, and I don't think he was going to make that play anyway. It was developing too slow, but we do get the lead runner. And so runner on first base, the leadoff man, Joe Trunk. Elvis Stanley up here, locked in, and a 3-1 count with 1 out. And he takes ball 4 low. That looked a lot like the pitch that was a called third strike a couple innings ago against the Thunderbolts, and I don't know if the ump has a bias here, but we're going to pull Frank Viola, and we're going to bring in Jensen Deputy, who has reverse splits as a righty, so now those lefties are going to have a debuff, and you'll see Guy Ramirez. He's been batting from the right side, so he's one of those switch hitters. We also see Rally Stopper activated here for Jensen, and so that's going to boost his attributes even more. And that ball's going to pop up to left center field. Cash Basket range is over for out number 2. It's too shallow for any runners to try and advance. And Hammer Longbalo comes up. He gets power versus righties activated here, but he is getting the reverse splits debuff now, and so his contact is much lower than it normally is. You have to be careful with those fastballs as he throws him one right past him there. And that ball grounds to Santo. Santo to first, out number 3. So he does stop the rally. Jensen Deputy comes in the middle of the 5th inning and is able to get out of it. And Frank Viola did not last as long as we would have liked him to, but he did pitch a really great outing here. And a lot of those players are now tense because they were not able to get anything going against him. Blacksmith grounds between short and third for a base hit, and here comes David Ortiz. The DH is locked in. He is 0 for 2 today, 2 groundouts, and so his mojo dropped a little bit. And he hits that ball just past the first baseman, and Leandro has to stop at second base as Hammer has a pretty solid arm. And so we have the first 2 batters of the inning reach, and here comes locked in Mashed Taters, who already had an RBI on a ground out earlier. He is now a chance to get more RBIs with this at bat here. No outs, runner in scoring position, swings through strike 2, fights that one off. Turf Leathers and Neutral Mojo, hoping to figure out some way to make something happen and get out of this, as he's kind of gotten himself into some trouble. And he gets Mash chasing on a pitch outside of the zone, and he's pissed off, but he's got to be mad at himself for that one because he swung at a very bad pitch. And so here comes Ron Santo. We were talking about giving him that RBI hero trait. It would be nice to see that here. Leandro takes off for third, and he makes it. So now we have runners on the corners with 1 out. Great speed over there at third base, and now all Ron Santo has to do is make some contact into the outfield. And we'll see another runner across the plate, most likely. 3-1 count here for Ron. Looking for his pitch. He takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. Now full count with 1 out. And pops that one foul. It's going to get out of play. And pops that one foul too, and that's not going to get out of play as the third baseman ranges over and catches that just out of play, or in foul territory for out number 2. So Ron Santo fails to do his job as he couldn't get that ball out of the infield. And now with 2 outs, here's Kathy Cul-de-sac. And she gets the base hit, so she comes through for the team. Base hit up the middle, runner scores, and now we get to stay alive, bringing it to Cash Basket. And Leathers is getting very tired here as he might be considered getting pulled, as he does. And here comes Brent Branch. His tier 2 gets ahead, but one thing you'll notice is his stamina is already at half, and he only has 2 pitches, a fastball and a curve. And it looks like Cash was sitting on that curve, but she did not wait long enough. She didn't get enough pop on that, and it lined out to first base. But a runner scores on the Kathy Cul-de-sac single up the middle. So the Thunderbolts extend the lead to 3-1. Angels Johnston, who got a home run, a solo shot in his last at-bat, immediately grounds out to short, and he is another one of those switch hitters who was batting from the left side in this at-bat just now and grounded out. And Willie Randolph, with a nice diving play up the middle, makes the throw over to first base for the out and gets the mojo boost along the way. He's back to neutral, and here comes Orlando Cabrera. The lefty does have maxed out easy target, so that makes it easier for Jensen Deputy. And Cabrera pops out to foul territory, but right in that little patch of green grass down the left field line, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Jensen Deputy against the Soul Spirit. So that Soul offense is still struggling to get much going here. They've had a few opportunities, but not able to pull through on them. And Brent Branch facing off against Harold Williams, who's probably sitting dead curveball. She gets that one. Joe Trunk makes a really nice diving play to prevent that from being a base hit, and she gets thrown out as Branch covers first really well there. Here comes Fowler Rounds. 0 for 2 today. Again, we didn't bring him in for the offense. Actually, he did get on base, didn't he? Yeah, he had a single that he hit hard to right center field and hits that ball hard too, but it hangs up and carries to the edge of the warning track for out number 2. He did have a base hit in his second at bat to right center field. So 2 outs, we reach the top of the order once again. Willie Randolph against Brent Branch. And Randolph hits that ball hard left center field. It's going to get all the way to the wall, but it bounces right over to De La Rosa. Now, luckily, Randolph has really great speed, and he was able to reach second base easily. So it's a 2-out double for Randolph. And now Leandro, who's 2 for 3 with a double and a single and an RBI, comes up with a chance to extend the lead even further. And wow! Sitting fastball, Blacksmith puts that one out to left center field. A no-doubter for him, a 2-run shot. He is a triple away from the cycle, 431 for him. I don't know if he gets another at-bat, but he has the speed to hit a cycle. I think he just has to find the right spot in this field to try and make that happen. But really great day for Leandro Blacksmith, and I'm glad we bumped him into the 2 spot, as he is now 3 RBIs on the day. Of the 5 runs that the Thunderbolts have scored, he has driven in 3 of them. Here's David Ortiz, got on base last time up, and hits that ball over to Cabrera, and gets that across over to Trunk for out number 3. But a 2-out rally for the Thunderbolts as Leandro Blacksmith gets the 2-run shot after the double from Willie Randolph, and the Thunderbolts are extending their lead now 5-1. Here in the bottom of the 7th. So it's not over yet, but the Thunderbolts are making a compelling case that they can hang with a team like the Spirits. And a line out there from De La Rosa over to shortstop. We get to Vito Feynman, the third baseman. 1 for 2 today, getting that reverse splits impacting him. And Deputy, 1-2 count here, gets a foul off. And that ball dribbles over to first base, and it looks like it's in no man's land. Deputy can't get to it quick enough. Taters started going for it, realized no one was on first base, and so he bailed, and Deputy couldn't get into it in time. So that's a really weird little infield dribbler for a base hit with 1 out. And Joe Trunk to Santo to Randolph over to first, double play. Through around the horn, 5-4-3 double play to end the inning for the Thunderbolts. So really great defense after that really awkward play, and the Thunderbolts are having a really great season, or a great day here today. Brent Branch comes out, Brennan Rossi comes in, and Mash Taters gives them a something to think about after that. 1-1 count here. He pulled that foul. Unfortunately, just missed it. Hits that ball hard to right field, and that's going to get out of here. Mash Taters mashes one for a solo shot here to lead off the top of the 8th. And the Thunderbolts, 387 for Mash Taters, his 11th home run and 54th RBI of the season. His offense has not been what we wanted it to be, but hopefully that's a bit of a shift for him. We can see him ideally start to show a little more pop in the bat for the rest of this season. Ron Santo coming up. I didn't realize he has 17 home runs on the season already, so he is ahead of Mash Taters in that category. Also has 54 home runs. And hits that ball hard, but right at Elvis Stanley at second base for out number 1. Kathy Koldesak still on fire, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. And she has that RBI, or as the contact versus righties activated here. So she is essentially elite contact right now. And just above average power with these boosts from On Fire and her contact trait. And Rossi jabs at that one, is able to knock it down and toss it to first for out number 2. And Cash Basket comes up now. Does not get the power and contact traits activated here. Here comes Top Navarro, their closer, who is juiced right now. Has specialist, but it's a tier 1, so it's not much of an impact. But that actually helps Cash Basket as she flips to the other side of the plate and then gets the left contact versus lefty and power versus lefty, and that allows her to muscle that base hit over the first baseman for a single. So she's kind of breaking out of her funk a little bit. She gets on base with 2 outs. Harrow Williams comes up and swings at the first pitch. Feynman tosses across the diamond for out number 3. And another run scores on the Mashed Taters solo shot to lead off the inning. Heading into the bottom of the 8th, the score 6-1, and the Spirit are running out of outs. They have 6 outs to work with here as they work through their 2, 3, 4 hitters here. Jensen Deputy still grinding away. He's locked in, and this will be his 20th pitch. Now, he's been pretty efficient. He gets strike 2 there, 1-2 count. And Elvis Stanley pulls that one hard and foul. Takes ball 2 high, does not chase. And that ball dropped right into the zone, but he's able to make contact. And then swings through that pitch way inside. He loses his mojo there, but really great pitching from Deputy. And here comes Guy Ramirez, their catcher. He gets the reverse splits treatment here against Deputy. 0-2 count already. And makes contact there. Fouls it straight back. And then hits that ball hard, and really Randolph with another nice diving play. Tosses to first for out number 2. And we saw another mojo drop for the Spirit, this time from Guy Ramirez. And now here comes Hammer Longbalo, also getting the reverse splits treatment, but again, only on his contact, as he still has all that power. And 0-2 count here with 2 outs to Longbalo. He's had a quiet day. He hits that ball hard to left center field. Blacksmith gets to it quickly, and Longbalo has to stop at first base. So what looks like could have been extra bases ends up being just a long, hard single for Longbalo. But with 2 outs, the Spirit have something happening. And here comes Angel Johnston, who did have a solo shot, the only run scored for the Spirit in this game. And he's up with reverse splits activated and tense. And that ball's going to get past blah, 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 blah. Why was that so hard to say? That ball is going to get past Mashed Taters into right field for another base hit. So a bit of a 2-out rally here. But we have the right guy in, as Jensen Deputy is the rally stopper. As I say that, he gives up a base hit to left center field. Cash Basket is able to get to it and get it in, but a run scores. And runners on the corners with 2 outs for Orlando Cabrera in a max pressure situation. He's already got 1 double today, so they pull Jensen Deputy. They bring in Withers Hansen, pretty much one of their most reliable batters, and easy targets activated. All of the traits just got activated there. That one lines right to Mashed Taters to end the inning really quick on 2 pitches. And we head to the top of the 9th. The score 6-2. Thunderbolts in a good place to win this one, but it's not over until all 27 outs are made. And so the Thunderbolts looking for a little bit more reinforcement before they go back out to finish this game. And so Fowler rounds. He comes in as the emergency signing right before this game, and he ends up with 2 hits on the day in 4 at-bats. So great performance from him. Played a absolutely flawless shortstop today, so very thankful to have him in this situation. Top Navarro still out there. The closer is locked in and juiced. And Joseph Trunk ranges in, gets that one, tosses to second to get the lead runner, but not in time to get Willie Randolph at first base. And here comes Leandro. Everybody's wondering, 3 for 4, triple away from the cycle. Can he do it here? He's got a very tall task facing off against Top Navarro, and he's already down 0-2. Great speed over there at first base, so that shouldn't hold him back from being able to reach third base if he wants it. Fights that one off. Really great matchup here between these two. And Leandro, oh! what could have been as he pulls that one, and Vineman over there at third base makes a stab at it, just barely gets to it in time, and that's a line out for out number 2. And here comes David Ortiz, has maxed out clutch, hits that ball, but right at Joe Trunk, and he has been struggling today. Even though he came into the game on fire, David Ortiz grounded every ball that he hit. Only one was able to get out of the infield, unfortunately. So they did get a base hit, but it didn't mean anything, and they go down. Navarro doing everything he can to try and keep the soul spirit in this one, but now it comes down to their offense, and Maya De La Rosa grounds over to the pitcher for out number 1. She gets a mojo drop. Here comes Vito Feynman, who managed to go 2 for 3 today with 2 singles, even through all of those debuffs from this team. By the way, every pitcher that we've had come out for the Thunderbolts in this game has had either specialist or reverse splits, and you can see what that does to a team in those circumstances. Pops up to shortstop, Fowler rounds, ranges out to shallow left field, catching that for out number 2. And so down 4 runs, we get to the top of the order, and Joe Trunk has to figure out if he can do anything to stay alive, even in this high-pressure situation and choker activated. Will he be a choker here, or can he fight this off and keep the game alive? And that one pops up, stays alive here. 1-2 count. Fighting off a lot of pitches here, and hits that ball hard foul. I haven't been counting how many pitches this has been, but he does strike out. He chokes. Joe Trunk swings through strike 3, and the Thunderbolts come into the Soul Spirit and destroy them 6-2. I think this was much more dominant than the score would tell you. Even with the number of hits that the Spirit had, this was still just a really great performance from the Thunderbolts. Taking a look at the offensive lines, we see Randolph 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, Blacksmith 3 for 5, 3 runs scored, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He was a triple shy of the cycle. We see David Ortiz 1 for 5, rough day for him, even though he came in on fire. Mashed Taters 1 for 4. He had a home run, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. Ron Sano had a bad day, 0 for 4. Cul-de-sac 1 for 4 with an RBI. Cash Basket 2 for 4. Hera 0 for 4, and the Fowler rounds coming in 2 for 4 today. So thankful to see him produce in his emergency appearance. Almost every batter for the Spirit managed to get a hit today, except for De La Rosa. Everyone got at least 1 hit, which is surprising when you realize that the majority of this team was debuffed the entire time. Now, Angel Johnston did get 2 hits, one of them being a solo shot. And then Hammerlong Ballo got on base and scored by Moyer, hitting him in. So that's about all for the offense for this team. Looking at pitching, Frank Viola only went 4 1/3, giving up 7 hits and 1 walk, allowing 1 earned run, the solo shot, striking out 3. Had a really good outing, but just didn't last for very long. Jensen Deputy came up huge, though, 3 1/3 innings, giving up 4 hits, 1 earned run, and striking out 1. And then Withers Hansen, 1 1/3, striking out 1. So great pitching from the Windy City Thunderbolts. Can't be the same for the Spirit. Now, Turf Leathers did have a few good innings there, but ended up only going 5 2/3, giving up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, and striking out 5. Brent Branch and Brandon Rossi combined 2 innings, giving up 3 hits and 3 earned runs, 2 solo shots between the 2 of them. And then Top Navarro, their closer, came in, pitched really well, only giving up 2 hits in a 1 1/3 inning, but Leathers gets the loss, Deputy gets the win, Hansen gets the save, and Leandro, the number 1 spot, Johnston, number 2, Mashed Taters, number 3. The Thunderbolts can compete with the big dogs. So this is something that we really love to see. Great outing from this offense and from this defense. Oh, this is why I hate these manager moments. Like, what why are we doing this? Jensen Deputy had a really great outing today. Queen Jimenez was somebody we want to develop and continue to see succeed, but we have to decide which one gets a negative impact. Queen has been pitching really well, 3.68 ERA. Jensen 2.60. I'm sorry, Queen, but it has to be you for this one. This bullpen is just really good. It's crazy. All right, sorry, Queen. We'll get you that loyalty back somewhere else, I promise. I'll do everything I can, but really great outing. Great video this time. Feels a lot better to see the success from this team after the struggles we've seen for the majority of this season. And after that win, we are only a half a game back of the Green Bay Grapplers, and we're plus 43 run differential. So we're in a good spot. Hopefully this team can carry that momentum into the rest of the season so that we can get ourselves into our first playoff appearance in 3 seasons. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below if there's another team that you would love to see us play against, maybe the Boise Buzzards, who are the next in the on the schedule. But keep me posted on what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see next, and we'll continue to monitor the comments. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.